Hello and welcome. We're going to get started here in just a moment. I just want to double check that the live stream is working properly, that the slides are showing the way we want them to. So just hang tight. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. All right, got that. Show the slides. 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 All right, let's get rolling with this webinar. Hello and welcome everyone to this international broadcast live from my home office here just outside of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. My name is Dan Gerke from leave9to5behind.com, and I want to welcome you to this call. And tonight we're going to share with you rejection-free recruiting. You're going to learn how to grow your home business on Facebook without getting rejected. We don't want that one, we want that one. So before we hop into it, who am I? Well, my name, like I said, is Dan Gerke. That's me, my wife, and my two beautiful children. From our summer road trip this summer, we were down through Vegas and spent the day at the Grand Canyon. Such a phenomenal spot. Amazing background for photos, as you can see. if you ever get the chance, make sure you go there, because photos don't do it justice. You just have no idea until you've actually been there to experience it for yourself. So that's me. I've been a stay-at-home, work-from-home dad since 2009 now. I like to call myself a freedompreneur, and I'm passionate about helping people create more time and money freedom in their life. So moving right along, if you stick around to the end of this webinar, I've got a free bonus for you. One of the things I'm passionate about is connecting with mentors. I named my business A Mentored Life. And so what I've been doing recently is interviewing my mentors to get their secrets of success in business and in life. And if you'll stay till the end of this webinar, I'll share with you a secret link so you can access all the interviews that I've done to date. Interviews with people like Dr. John DeMartini from The Secret, people like Darren Little, the MLM superhero, people like Neil Patel, an online marketing legend, people like Dwayne Klassen, the founder of the Remarkable Man Project, interviews with people like Rhonda Swan from the Unstoppable family, and Kevin Connect, another online marketing master. Just some great interviews in there with some massive value, massive content there that you'll learn a ton of lessons from. So stick around to the end of the webinar and you'll get access to those interviews. So step number one, when you got into the home business industry and they started selling you the dream of you tell five who'll tell five, and before you know it, you'll be drinking out of coconuts on the beach. Well, here's the reality. This is the piece they didn't tell you, is that less than 0.1% in this industry earn more than $400 a month. That's a pretty sobering statistic. You know, and it doesn't really matter whether it's a juice company or a cream company or a shake company or a soap and vitamin company. It doesn't matter what the company is. Industry-wide, the statistics show that 0.1% ever earn more than $400 a month. And, you know, that's the reason why so many people get started in this industry. They get sold the dream, and the first time they get rejected by their friends or family, or maybe the second or third time, they just throw in the hat, they wave the white towel, and they walk away. And they never see the success that they set out to achieve in the first place. But here's the good news, is that success in this business is 95% mindset. It's not the techniques, it's not the company, it's not the strategy. Those all play a part. But it's what you believe is true for you that you'll create. And that's why mindset is so important. And one of the reasons I love this industry is because it spends so much energy promoting personal development. It encourages listening to audios every day, reading books, attending events, all those pieces, which are powerful mind feed. Just like you need to feed your body, you need to feed your mind on a regular basis, daily. Here's just an example of the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Successful people read every day. Unsuccessful people watch TV every day. One of my favorite memes online is that successful people have huge libraries, unsuccessful people have huge TVs. And as a real estate investor and a landlord, I can tell you that the bigger the TV in the property usually meant the more the people were struggling. So if you're one of those people with a massive TV, but your life just isn't working for you, well, maybe that's a clue. Maybe you need to cut down on the amount of TV and start picking up some books. Anyway, I digress. Successful people embrace change. Unsuccessful people criticize and fear change. Successful people talk about ideas. Unsuccessful people hold a grudge and they talk about people. Successful people continuously learn. Unsuccessful people think they know it all. Successful people accept responsibility for their failures. Unsuccessful people blame others for their failures. Successful people have a sense of gratitude. Unsuccessful people have a sense of entitlement. And boy, is that ever rampant right now. Successful people set goals and develop life plans. Unsuccessful people never set goals. In fact, here's another one of my favorites is saying you've probably heard, you may or may not have heard, is that most people spend more time planning their next vacation than they do planning their life. And it's sad, but true. Successful people share, unsuccessful people hoard. Successful people have gratitude, and unsuccessful people don't appreciate others. So make sure you're pulling from that left column as much as possible. That's where you want to spend your time. So let's hop right into the meat of this. I know you're here to learn rejection-free recruiting. So tonight you're going to learn how to turn Facebook into your own personal ATM machine. And you're not going to do it with paid ads or PPC or any of those things. I'm going to teach you how to build a Friends for Life program that puts money in your pocket. There we go, Facebook. Now, the thing about Facebook is that there are billions of people on Facebook. I think they're up to 2 billion now, active users on Facebook. And the stats are phenomenal. The amount of time that people spend on Facebook, I know I probably push those stats up a little bit because I spend a fair bit of time on Facebook, probably more than I should, but it's also a source of new business for me. So it's a business activity, or at least that's how I justify it. But I digress. So the 3 ways we're going to find you nearly unlimited leads for your Facebook is, number 1, we're going to look at your own friends list. Now, Facebook stats tell us that the average user has 338 friends. Now, when I got started in the home business industry, traditional network marketing, I was told to go and make a list of 100 people. Friends, family, lady at the grocery store, guy at the gas station, whether I knew their name or not, just make a list of people. And then to start calling them up and inviting them out to a presentation. I don't know about you, but I didn't really like that way of building a business, and I wasn't very successful at that strategy either, which is why I want to teach you a better way. But that said, if you're on Facebook and you have an average of 338 friends, well, you've now got 3 times as many people, potential people that you can reach out to. Number 2, we're going to go into Facebook groups. Now, the home business industry is a leadership industry. It's not a products and services and pitch your deal industry. It's a personal development and leadership industry. So demonstrate some leadership and you'll have nearly unlimited leads for your business. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And finally, number 3, Facebook commenting. Industry leaders are a great source of prospects. That's where your target demographic is hanging out. Because it's a personal development industry, people that are in the home business industry follow personal development leaders. So that's a great source of potential prospects and how you can do rejection-free recruiting. All right, so number 1, let's connect with your friends and family. No, scratch that. Let's connect with your friends on Facebook. And your goal here is to, like I said earlier, is to build friends for life. Your goal here is not to pitch your deal. Your goal here is to reach out to the people on your friends list. And as you can see circled there on my page, I've got nearly 1,500 friends. And what I'll share with you a little later in this presentation is how I built that to 1,500 from 1,200 in just a few weeks with the strategies I'm going to teach you tonight. So if your friends list isn't quite as robust, you only have a couple hundred friends or maybe 500 and you want to build that up so that you have more potential prospects, I'm going to teach you how to do that tonight. You want to reach out to those friends and build a relationship. You want to build rapport. You want to find out what's going on in their world and then look for a way to help them. That's your goal. You want to help people because when you help people, they want to help you. So here we go. How to never get rejected on Facebook. You know, in the home business industry, one of the biggest fears people have, and one of the things that holds them back the most, is this fear of rejection, of hearing the word no. And so many people, when they pick up the phone and they call their friends and family, they hear no all the time. Or they don't hear no because the people feel bad for them, or they want to humor them, or they'll do them a favor and come and watch a presentation, but then they never join the business, or if they do, they never do anything with it. I want to teach you how to never get rejected. And the way you do that is you ask people how they're doing. The conversation's about them, not you. Because you can't get rejected asking somebody how they're doing. So the script for that is, hey, Joe, how's it going? How's your day going so far? And your name. Easy as that. You reach out to 25 people a day with that introduction, you'll get conversations started. You won't get everybody responding. Not everybody is on Facebook all the time, or they don't check their account, or maybe they're not even active. But if you will commit to 25 conversations a day and starting them just like that, hey, Bob, how's it going? How's your day going so far? And sign your name. Dan, Sue, Tim, whatever your name is, and just hit enter and move on to the next one. Before you know it, you'll have people responding, and it'll go off. You'll get a little bell ringing, and it'll go off like fireworks once you get a critical mass going. Start there. Ask them how they're doing. When you ask them a question, in most cases, they're going to come back and ask you a question. Pardon me for a second, my voice is a little hoarse. I need to take a sip of my tea here. When they ask you a question, you want to be high energy and positive in your response. You want to be awesome. You want to be doing great. You want to be fantastic. Thanks for asking. Number 3, you want to share fun photos of yourself. You want to let them into your life a little bit. You want to be an open book. You want to be a little bit vulnerable, sharing some of your life, something exciting. Ideally, if you've been out doing something fun recently, share that. If you've been on a trip recently, share some photos of you on vacation. Just like that picture of the Grand Canyon, I've used that photo hundreds of times because it's a great icebreaker. It shows that it tells people a little bit about me. 1, they know that I have a family. 2, they know that I like to travel, or that I explore, or that I've been to the Grand Canyon. So you want to share some photos of yourself. And again, if you're showing photos of yourself, they'll likely come back with some photos of their life. And so it's a great way to build rapport. Your goal in the first stages of this conversation is to get them to an LOL. And the reason you want to do that is because when somebody laughs, you're changing their state. Most likely when you're reaching out to somebody, they've got their guard up a little bit. They're skeptical. They're wondering, who is this person and why is he talking to me? Which is why the energy is good. You want to be high energy, bring them out of a low energy place. You want to share some photos because that's fun and interesting to them. And you want to get them to laugh because that'll change their state. Once they laugh, you can pretty much ask them any question and they'll be open to answering it. So your goal is to get them to laugh. Tell them a joke, share a funny story, talk about the picture, something funny that happened in the picture, whatever you got to do to get them to laugh. Share one of the emojis or a GIF that's funny, whatever you got to do. Once you've changed their state, then you can ask them more about what they do. What do they do for work? And what is their passion? If somebody responds that they're cleaning toilets at the hotel, or they working for the man, or some response like that, well, you probably already know the answer to the question, but you're going to ask it anyway. You're going to ask them if that's their passion. If it's not their passion, which in most cases, very few people actually are working at their passion. If it's not their passion, then ask them what their passion is. What is it that they really want to do? When they give you a response, then find out what they need to do to be able to do more of their passion. You know, what's it take? Do you have to make more money to be able to do more of that? Do you have to move? You have to stop doing what you don't love and start doing more of what you do love? Those are the kind of questions you want to ask. You want to get them to talk about their pain a little bit, because then they're validating to themselves why they need to make a change. If you have a way of helping them do more of their passions, then show them. Offer to show them how they can fund their passion. Because in most cases, the thing holding people back from spending more time on their passions is money. You know, they're working at a job they hate because it pays the bills. But if they were making more money, they'd quit that job and they'd do more of what they love. So if you have a method that can help them do that, then you have an obligation to share that with them. And of course, that's how you make your money, right? That's how you earn a living, is by helping solve people's problems. So help them. They need your help. And number 10, finally, surrender your ego. Now, that said, even if you feel what you have is perfect for them and it'll change their life, you can't be attached to their response, because for some people, it's just going to be a no, regardless of whether it's a perfect fit or not. And you can't be attached to that response. If you're hanging your hat on them saying yes, and you're crushed if they don't, well, then this is going to be a difficult business for you to be in. You got to surrender your ego. You got to have no attachment to their response. You made the offer. If they say no, no problem. What you got planned for the weekend? You know, you want to leave the conversation in a good place. Again, this is the Friends for Life program. And you can come back to these people in a month or 2 or 3 or 6 and see what's new. Check in again, see what's going on in their world. Keep touching base. I know I've gone through this process with my friends list 3 or 4 times now. Reached out to people, started a dialogue. Some have responded, some haven't. And you know what? On the 3rd and 4th time that I've reached out, that's when people are starting to engage more. They're opening up. They're wanting to know more about what I do. They're asking for, you know, how do I do what you're doing? They're reaching out to me. So just like in the advertising world, they say that you have to have 7 to 12 exposures of your product or your advertisement before people notice it. It's similar in this case too. You can't be hung up on that you've got to sell everybody the first time you talk to them, because you're not trying to sell people. You're trying to help them. So don't be attached to their response. Leave the conversation in a great place and move on. If it's a no for them, no problem. What you got planned for the weekend? And if it's a yes, well, then you can tell them the next steps. All right, so I mentioned earlier how I've grown my friends list by a few hundred people in just the last few weeks. Here's largely how I've done it. Is one of my passions is following mentors of mine. I love personal development and what it brings for me. And so I follow a lot of personal development leaders. And one of the ways that I've been growing my friends list, I'll just bring these all up here. This is a list of leaders in the personal development world, in the home business world. These are names that everybody's going to recognize. So these are primarily the people that I will go to their wall and I'll comment on their posts. But by no means is this an exhaustive list. There are hundreds and perhaps thousands of leaders in this industry that you could go and engage with, leave valuable content that other people will enjoy, who will then reach out to you to find out more about you. So, for example, here's a comment I left on one of Tony Robbins' posts. So he said, questions provide the key to unlocking our unlimited potential. So what I did is sometimes I've got a quote right off the top of my head. Other times I've got an idea of a quote and I just can't remember exactly the wording. And other times I'll just go to Google and I'll type in questions quote or provide the key quote or something along those lines. And I'll look up a quote that's relevant to what he said. So my reply was, he who asks a question is a fool for 5 minutes. He who does not ask a question remains a fool forever. And then I added, don't be afraid to ask questions, especially of yourself and the things you believe that stop you from stepping out of your comfort zone. And as you can see there, I had one comment from somebody. I had 11 likes. And what I'll do then is I'll open up those likes and I'll open new tabs with each of those 11 people, and I'll see what they're about. If they look like people that are in my industry, if they look like good people to connect with, I'll send them a friend request. One word of caution, Facebook doesn't like you adding a bunch of friends all at once. So pace yourself. Do not send 11 friend requests all at once. 3 or 4 should keep you under the radar. If you spread them out every 15, 20, or 30 minutes, doing one at a time, that's better. Sorry about the phone ringing there. So don't go friend request happy. You'll get your account shut down or frozen. So just a word of caution, do not add a bunch of friends. Just doing this strategy, you'll actually get a lot of friend requests because people like the content you've shared and they'll send you a friend request. But I'm proactive with it as well. I will send friend requests. I just don't hammer it. I do a few at a time. All right, strategy number 3 is share value in related Facebook groups. So there are thousands of Facebook groups related to the home business industry. That said, most of them are spam fests. Most of them have very little engagement. People go in there, they spam their link, and then they leave. And there's no dialogue, there's no conversation, there's no rapport building. You want to avoid those groups. But the kind of groups I am drawn to is law of attraction groups, personal development groups, some work from home, some entrepreneur groups. And you want to look for groups that actually have dialogue going on. Somebody puts up a post and there are comments and likes and shares and back and forth. Those are the groups you want to get into, and you want to share valuable content. Now, one of my favorite ways of doing that is my wife actually creates these image quotes for me. She enjoys being creative. She finds great photos or images, and she does a great job with the text, changing the fonts and making things stand out. And she adds my website address to the bottom of every one of them. So I go into these groups and I'll share an image like that every now and then. And as you can see here, this one was posted 6 hours before I took this screenshot. And from that, I had 16 likes, 3 or 4 comments, and 5 shares. So 5 other people took that image and they shared it either on their own wall or somewhere else. And so my image with my website address on it is being spread all over Facebook without me doing anything. And I get friend requests from that. And I get leads. I get people that go to my website and they opt into my lead capture form, and then they're in my database and they start getting my autoresponder messages. So this is a great way. If you like sharing quotes, I highly encourage you to use pictures. Text works as well, but pictures stand out. People love these kind of image quotes. And if you're not creative or artistic and don't want to create them yourself, go to a website called Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and you'll find all kinds of people there they'll create images for you for $5. You might get a bunch of images for $5. You might get one. Just poke around. It's amazing what you find at that website, Fiverr.com. Pretty much anything you can think of, people will do it for $5. So pretty phenomenal resource. So again, like I said earlier, you want to initiate at least 25 conversations a day and stay consistent with it. Do it for 45 days if you can, to break inertia. If you're not consistent with it, if you do a few a day, one day, and then you skip a couple days, and then another day you do a few, well, you'll never get the kind of momentum you need to really build a business. So you need to do at least 25 a day and stick with it consistently for 45 days and watch what happens. So I love this quote: small daily improvements are the key to staggering long-term results. It's not a big burst of energy and then do nothing. It's little consistent actions taken daily that'll lead to your success. Now, as I said, these strategies, they can be used for online and offline businesses. If you're in traditional network marketing, well, then I hope you took a few pages of notes, because you can apply those strategies to your offline business too. It doesn't have to be done on Facebook. It's much easier on Facebook, but the principles can be used online and offline. In fact, my mentor who taught me how to do this, he's used those strategies, the building rapport strategy, to raise millions of dollars for traditional businesses. It's not just something you have to do online. You can apply these principles to any home business, any online, offline business, traditional business. It's the art of building relationships. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier is, when you're building rapport with somebody, remember the word form, F-O-R-M. And that stands for, F stands for family, O stands for occupation, R stands for recreation, and M stands for motivation. Those are all great talking subjects that you can build rapport with somebody. You want to find out about their family. You want to find out about their work. You want to find out what they do for fun, their recreation. And you want to find out what their motivation is. What's their passion? What's their why? Why are they doing what they're doing? So keep those in mind when you're building rapport and starting those dialogues. Now, in case you are building online, here are 6 criteria that you really need if you want to be successful online. So number 1, you need something to sell that pays high commissions. And by high commissions, I don't mean high dollar amounts. I mean a high ratio of the sale. So a couple of the programs that I use pay as much as 100% commission. Now you take some credit card processing fees and stuff out of that, it's not exactly 100%. But when you make one sale, you're essentially break even. Your next sale, you're in profit. That's what I mean by high commissions. Most traditional home business, network marketing, MLM pay low commissions. They pay you 7, 8, 10, maybe 20% commission on the sale. The company is getting the bulk of the profit instead of you, which is why I love information products and digital products online, is because they can pay high commissions because they have low overheads. There's no delivery costs, there's no staffing, all those pieces. It's just instantaneous online sales, commissions paid straight into your online bank account, and you're in profit. Number 2, it needs to be affordable. Ideally $25 or less. even under $60. I've seen as high as $200 working. My mentor calls that under the radar money, because in most cases, somebody can spend $200 without raising a big red flag for their spouse. If money's tight and you go out and spend $1,000, that's going to get noticed pretty quick. $200 probably going to get noticed, but if you spend 25 bucks, well, that's no big deal. It's not a deal breaker. So you want something that has a low barrier to entry for people, so they can make that quick decision. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to go get somebody's permission, that kind of thing. Number 3, people need to be able to become profitable in 30 days or less with massive action. Now, I want to be clear on that. You don't become profitable by signing up and then sitting on the couch. You got to take massive action. So when I talked about 25 connections a day for 45 days straight, that's a minimum. That's a minimum. Don't take that for granted. If you think, just sending 25 a day, you've done the bare minimum and you've done nothing else, that's not massive action. That's just doing what you need to do, and you may or may not see results from that. Step it up, play a bigger game, do more, and you'll see results. Number 4, the ability to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of effort. And this is where upsells offering huge value are enticing. So like I said on point number 2, you got to have affordable front end. You also have to have a back end, other products and services that add more value that the people who are serious about building a business are gonna buy, and you're gonna earn more money from. And that's where the full-time income comes from. Because in traditional network marketing, you need teams in the thousands, 5,000 to 10,000 people in your organization to make a full-time income. With a product like this, where you have huge value, high commission upsell products, you don't need thousands. You may need tens or maybe hundreds to be earning a full-time income. That's a big difference. Number 5, the corporate videos need to convert all on their own. Now, this is something that in traditional network marketing, you've probably seen. You get a bundle of DVDs and you're told to go hand them out to everybody you see and tell them to go home and watch it. Or you invite them to your house and you put the DVD in and everybody sits around and watches the DVD. But how often do people actually pull the trigger from that? How often does that video compel them to take the next step? That's the key, is that the corporate video needs to be the thing that converts them into customers. If it does that effectively, then you're no longer reliant on maybe a charismatic or a really engaging speaker to do the selling. If the video does the selling, then you're in business. And finally, number 6, the system needs to provide marketing training to help people learn the skills they need to become successful. So it's called network marketing for a reason, because while networking is a key part of the program, marketing is as big, if not bigger piece. Marketing is what brings in the new business. And so you need to learn how to market. And what I've taught you here tonight is just one avenue of marketing, but there's hundreds of ways you can market your business. And so your system needs to teach you how to do those strategies, because maybe Facebook's not for you. Maybe it's not your thing, but maybe a direct mail or Instagram or Pinterest or Twitter or something else is more up your alley. Well, you need to be able to learn how to do those things as well to find what fits for you. And if you don't have a system that covers all of those pieces, well, then I encourage you to go take a look at leave9to5behind.com, because that system has all 6 of these key criteria and then some. And it's one of the reasons why I'm such a big fan of this program. And so I encourage you to go take a look at that. Even if you're building a traditional network marketing business, the tools and the training you'll find inside of that system will blow you away. And you can become one of those top earners if you just apply what you learn. All right, so back to what I said at the start of the presentation. I want to thank you for sticking it out this long, for watching the full presentation here. Excuse me. And so to thank you for that, I want to get you access to the interviews with my mentors. Now, these are all 6- and 7-figure earners in their respective industries. These people all charge thousands of dollars for their time, and every one of these interviews is 30 minutes or more, and it's packed full of value. So go and get your hands on these interviews. Make sure you enter your name and your email address on the page so you can be notified of any upcoming interviews when they occur live. You might be able to check them out live, or at least you'll know about new upcoming interviews. So the way to do that is go to www.mmc.leave925behind.com. MMC is short for Mentors Masterclass. That's the name of my interview series. So be sure to go to that page, leave your email address there so that you can be notified of the upcoming interviews, and go watch those interviews. Like I said, there's a ton of value there. Some really great wisdom shared by my mentors and legends in their industry. So that's the end of the slideshow. Let me just come back here and stop sharing my screen. See if you can see me here. Coming back. All right. So that's the end of the webinar. I hope you got great value from that. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and watch this. Again, like I said, if you're looking for a system that you can apply these principles to, you don't have something currently, you're looking to make some money online, you're looking to perhaps add a new revenue stream, maybe just a side project that you want to work on. You want to be home with your kids, which I have to go pick up here in a couple hours, but I'm able to work from home. And part of the way I'm able to do that is by applying the principles I taught you tonight and having a system that covers all those 6 key criteria. And that's at leave9to5behind.com. Go check that out. And I look forward to seeing you again. Reach out to me on Facebook. Leave me a comment below. Let me know that you got value from this webinar, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Make it a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.